Alright, we are live. I think we're all good to go. Make sure this doesn't blow my ears out. Alright, here we go. Well, hello everyone. How are y'all doing? Back for another painting sesh. Let me get my shit sorted. Gonna be a quick one. Probably get about an hour, but it's enough to do some hobbying. So that's what we're gonna do. Move the camera up a little bit. Perfect. Let's do that. Alrighty. Sorry guys, still haven't got my shit sorted. Alright, now we're good. I swear. Alright, hang on, there we are. Okay, so I've got a little Deathwing Terminator that I need to paint up. And I thought I would do a bit of that with you guys on stream today. So that's what we're going to do. We are going to paint some of this Terminator up, and it's going to be much like what we did previously with my other Dark Angels that if you have been watching before, you would have seen. So I went ahead and did a lot of the airbrushing beforehand just to get it to a point where I'm kind of happy and ready to just sort of paint easy and stream. So I don't have to worry about, making mistakes with the airbrush on stream, or even worrying about blowing your ears out. So these little crux, I think they're called crux terminata symbols. I'm just base coating in dark grey for the time being. So I'm going to slap a few base coats on here. And up here on his shoulders as well. We're going to try and keep in the lines, not like here, messing it up, but it's pretty easy to fix. Just a wet paintbrush, straight over your little mistake, and it's good as gold, back to normal. Never happened. So that'll probably do it for the grey. What I'm going to do now is look to do some of the red areas. And I think I'm going to start with deep red from scale 75 as the base coat. Good deep red color. Will, Terminators are your favorite. Hell yeah. What chapter are your Terminators? Okay, so I've got the red on my palette. We're going to start here on the chainsword. It's that sort of traditional red for the weapons that the Dark Angels have. Looks really nice. Any, he says, any Terminators. Even the heretical kind? Or is that where you draw the line? Okay. Where else? On his right shoulder. We'll paint this insignia as well. Same red color. You like the tusks on the helmet. I'm actually a fan of the way the trim looks on a lot of the Chaos models. Not a fan of painting the trim. It is painful. I like Dark Angel Terminators. I like because of the bone armor, which is what you're doing, I assume. It is what I'm doing. It's looking a bit white at the moment, but that's okay because I will tone it all down with a streaking grime wash later on. So I'm okay with it looking a bit white at the moment, and the streaking grime has like a browny green tone to it, so it kind of brings out a bone color once you apply it, which is really nice. Diesel, yo, what's happening, mate? Thanks for stopping by. Okay, I'm happy with that base coat there. I'm going to slap it on the gun now, the gun casing. I feel like I'm going to need 2 base coats of this one. It's looking quite transparent on this dark color here. Let me try and zoom out so I stay in frame a little bit more often. There we go. That might be a bit easier to see. Not worrying about being neat at this stage, just slapping on that base coat. Because we can do the tidy up steps later. Cool. I'll let that dry properly and then I'll hit it with the second coat in a moment. So what does that leave us? Because it's fairly plain, this dude. There's not a whole lot of other bits and pieces on him, to be honest. So I might just whip out some of the metallics as I'm thinking about it. So where's my silver? Yeah. I'm just going to use this one here. What do we got? Natural steel, model color. Decent coverage. And a fairly shiny paint, which is good because it will get dulled down when we whack on our streaking grime later. Wheeler over on YouTube, do you paint your minis for accuracy or just to look strange and stand out? I just paint them for fun. And I also get paid to paint them. So whatever the client requests is what I will paint. It's fun to follow, I guess, the chapter lore, you know, and what color they're meant to be and all that sort of stuff. It's fun sometimes, but it's also cool to just paint whatever the hell you want, you know? Super quick. Hey, it's almost done there. Now we can move on to, what am I going to do? Let's do bits of the gun around there. Silver. Then we can be a bit more accurate with our red when we go in for the second layer. Mateus. Hi, man. Hey, how are you? Thanks for stopping by, mate. Okay, that's the drum magazine thingo looking fairly decent. I'll come back to those bullets in a moment. How was my day? It was good, thanks, mate. Just working today, and then a bit of training earlier. I do a Muay Thai, so it's good fun. Sweated quite a bit. Hope your day was alright too. Dickhead Pato. Is that cork for the base? I believe it is. It's not my model, but yeah, it acts and feels like cork. And that little beast that just fell off confirms it's cork. What is your favorite Warhammer 40k dim? I don't know what a dim is. Do you mean like faction? If you mean faction, lore-wise, I don't know. Painting-wise, I love painting a good Space Marine. It's good fun. I do, mate. Yes, I do paint other people's miniatures. It's good fun. I'm able to make a bit of money from it. And something that I enjoy. And reinvest in the hobby, you know? Hello, hello, over on YouTube. I cannot read your name, but hello. All right, we are getting close to done with the metallic silver bits. I think I got the teeth of the chainsaw left to go. How do I usually like to paint your guys? What do you mean? In terms of like, I guess like standard, like to a high standard, to a tabletop ready? I enjoy pushing myself, but not too much. So yeah, I do like a tabletop standard every now and again, just to paint a mini quick, you know? Alright, I think he's looking pretty good even just with these couple of base coats. What do you reckon? Do you like them clean or gritty or grimdark, for example? A bit of a mix. I'll show you. This is what I kind of like to paint like. I like to paint like a kind of mix between that grimdarky look. Let me zoom in a bit. But also somewhat, what do you call it? Clean, maybe. It's a mix. I don't know. It's just kind of my style of painting. And if I want it a bit more battle damaged, I do this sort of thing. I call it like battle hardened is the type of paint effect standard that I paint to. Yeah, it's good fun. Cool. Thanks, Mateus. Appreciate it. Alright, just going in with a second base coat on these red bits because they all seem to be a little bit transparent for my liking. So we'll hit them just for the quick second layer, and that should do them nicely. I actually think the shoulder pad's fine. Maybe just the gun casing. Cheeky Valentino, I'm starting a Chaos Space Marine army. Ooh, what warband are you going for? That's the real question. Maka, have you seen the Warhammer episode on Secret Level? I sure have, mate. I painted up Blade Guard veteran Matoris for one of my TikTok videos. I did like a short 60-second reel thing on that. Very cool animation. I also painted his head, Matoris, the other day, and I posted it on my Instagram. Because I made the character for the TikTok video before they even released an actual model for him. So, yeah, it's good fun. I'll see if I can get it out, the head, because someone sent me just a couple of heads to paint. I don't normally do that, but I thought, why not? It was a small request. It was just a couple of the heads. So here he is. I'm pulling it out. Hopefully I don't drop him. And I don't know if the thing will do it justice, but that's him there. I don't know how well you can see that on camera. Hang on, try and focus. But yeah, that's him. Took me a while. It's good practice though. But if you want real close-up photos, go check out my Instagram. I did like a step-by-step slide on how I actually painted him. The skin color, that is. Alright, happy with that. Let's do some gold now, I think. For the gold, it is my classic go-to paint. We're going with Necro Gold from Scale 75. Just a sick paint. Add it to your arsenal if you have not used it before. Just go get yourself one. It's sick. It's like a greeny gold. And yeah, it's just my go-to rather than the standard sort of real bright orangey golds that you tend to see. Personal preference, but that's what I like. And his little, what do you call it, artifact box thing hanging near his waist, we're going to paint that gold as well. Aquamat, good morning. Hope you're having a great day, my dude. Good morning to you. Good evening to me. It is 11:15 at night here. So my day is all but wrapping up. I just thought I'd jump on here and do a quick little painting session before I need to go to bed. While I'm here, why don't we just whack those gold bullets, hey? Same paint, it's on the palette, may as well. Great. Cool. Fuck it, why don't we even do that little skull, winged skull thing on the gun too? Maybe make that gold. That could look cool. Hey, nice work. I got to finish basing some Grimdark. Sloven Knights, Age of Sigmar, Nurgle. I did yesterday. Very nice. Are you a Age of Sigmar fan more so than 40k? Okay, what am I going to do next? I think we can do his Aquila thing in the middle of his chest. That's what I'm going to do. Stinkin' 11 on YouTube. What are some tips on painting? How long's a piece of string, mate? Very a question open to interpretation. What do you want to know? Really? Because there's lots of things you could be talking about here. You do both. Age of Sigmar GT coming up. Very nice. So you play the games? Because I am not much of a player, more just a painter. Nice. How long you been in the game? I just don't know if I could spend hours playing a single game, you know? That's, I think, what, I don't know, keeps me away from it. Maybe that's why, like, isn't Kill Team, like, nice and quick? Like, I feel like that might be more my style if I were to ever play a game. Oh, 15 years, solid effort. Solid effort. What brushes do I recommend? That is a good question. The one I'm using right now, and the one I've been recommending for a while, is Raphael Kalinsky Sable brushes. They're sick. They are somewhat expensive, but they are worth it if you look after them. Because they're just super high quality brushes, and just work so nicely with paint. And you don't need to buy many of them. So I paint most of my models with these two brushes right here. So a size 0 and a size 1 Raphael Kalinsky Sable. These brushes paint 99% of all my models. It even, I was just showing before, this is the head of Matoris. I painted this entire head with the one paintbrush, with this one here. And if you look at it, like, it looks quite big. It's bigger than his head, but the tip is really sharp. So I could paint his little pupils on his eye, which you can't even see on the camera, with the same paintbrush. So you don't need to own 10 different paintbrushes. You can literally own 2 and paint models of all sizes with them. Deathwing, yeah, nice. We are painting Deathwing today. Yesterday we painted up a Necron, and I was going to base him actually, just finish off the base on stream. So I might do that in a little moment. But yeah, for the time being, let's just get these base coats down on this Deathwing dude. Dead Skull, yo, what's happening, mate? How you going? Aquamad for beginners, I recommend the Nick Pro packs off Amazon. Yeah, I mean, if you're a beginner and you're looking to get into the hobby and you don't want to spend a fortune, for sure, like something like a synthetic brush pack will be more than enough to get you into the game. Just see if you even like painting, you know. You might not like it after a week and just go, that's not for me. And at least then you haven't spent, I don't know, $60 on 2 paintbrushes. Charlotte, hello. How are you, my friend? Okay, it's starting to come together. I hope this isn't going in and out of focus like it is on my screen for you guys. Hopefully you can see that all right. Good, how are you? Good to hear. I am very well, thanks. I am getting a bit tired after a day of working and just wanted a quick little hobby session before bed. But back to the painting at hand, I can see I got some red on this silver bit. Let's touch that up. Looks amazing. Thanks, Charlotte. Appreciate it. Very kind. What am I missing here before we move on? Yes, the joints, whatever you call them, like the rubbery bits in between his armor panels. So I'm just going to black them out. Nothing too exciting, but needs to be done. What am I planning to use for the washers? I am going to use this bad boy here, if I can find him on my desk. Oh, he's up. Hang on. Yeah. Streaking Grime. This one here from AK Interactive. Absolutely fantastic product. It's enamel based, so it's not like a wash like Nuln Oil. So you can, you know, wipe it off, and it takes a while to dry. Very useful tool. Yeah, hell yeah, I love it. I absolutely love it too. It's like my go-to. I've got like all the different colors now. I've got another one here, like all these enamel paints. I got like a red one, gray one, all of them. They're so good, and they come in very handy. Just tidying up areas where I went outside of the lines. There we go. Delicious paint. Yum. Use it for grimdark effects on my IF. Picked up Villainy the other day. Me too, Bolters and Biceps. I got the Villainy Phase 2 set. And yeah, used it on a couple of test models, and yeah, I'm liking it. It's pretty good. Goon's Grime, yeah, I'm pretty sure I've got that too. But yeah, I do like my AK ones, they are nice. Like, I'll show you this guy here, this Beatty's model that I painted up. Very subtle, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a hint of that red, green, fucking, what do you call it? Streaking grime in the shadows there. But yeah, that's him. IF, Imperial Fists, of course. Too many acronyms, mate. My whole job's filled with acronyms. I gotta add more when I come to play Warhammer, paint Warhammer, whatever you want to call it. Imperial Fist, you might like this one here, mate, if you're an Imperial Fist fan. Let me get him in focus. There we go. So that had Streaking Grime on him as well, but I wiped most of it away, kind of used it as a filtering effect. Again, same dude, but with the plasma glow effect. Yeah, good fun to paint up. And I did this for a commission only a couple of days ago. You should know him. He is a fan favorite. Sir Sigismund himself. Thank you on the spicy glow. Appreciate it. I got a Death Guard army coming up after I'm done the Age of Signar army. Very nice, dude. Sticking with your Nurgle themes, hey? Okay, let's finish painting out these little bits in between the armor joints. Thanks, bolters and biceps. Appreciate it. Gotta go, keep up the good work. Thanks, Aquamat. Appreciate you dropping by and staying for so long. Good luck with your Nurgle armies, my friend. Armin M, hello. How are you? Okay. A little bit more that I've missed. I swear I look at these and I think I'm done, and then I always find another section that's needing some paint. His armpit. Sweet. And his other armpit. There we go. Now this one's going to be a hard to reach spot. Kind of up near his hip here. How am I going to get that without wrecking the rest of the model? I don't know. Let's find out. Let's try and get it nice and sharp. It's like a little triangle bit in here. Okay. Well, we almost did it. You got a little bit in a spot that I didn't want, but that's all right. Let's tidy it up. Like so. Cool. Great, I'm happy with that. I think he's looking fairly decent. So, what we're going to do now is let's put some streaking grime on him. So I'm going to swap out my palette. So currently I'm using this wet palette here, but we're going to say goodbye to the wet palette because we're going to use an enamel paint, and an enamel paint does not like water. So we're going to keep them separate, and I'm going to use this absolutely disgusting palette, Palette de Nurgle, for all my streaking grime enamel oil-based paints. So I think this is the shit one. I have a streaking grime that I haven't thrown out that I should. I've just been keeping around, and that is the one that's really gross. So let's put that to the side so I know to get rid of that one and get the good one. Alright, here we go. This is the good one. Now you see online, like a lot of people will be like, oh, you put on the streaking grime and leave it for hours and hours. I'm not a fan of that. I like to just put it on, maybe leave it for a minute, sometimes 5 minutes, and then get rid of it. I just like the look that it gives. So that's what we're going to do. So I've got my little pipette, whatever you call it, and then I'm going to brush with some of the streaking grime, and we're going to put it all over the model like a wash. Putting the lid back on because I have spilt that shit many a time all over my desk. It's not fun, so I would not like a repeat of that. Thank you very much. Okay, so I've thinned it down quite a bit. Now, let's put it on. Right over all our work. And you can sort of see already it's kind of staining that kind of white bony color that we were going for already, which is exactly what we want because it will make it that more warm looking bone color that we're after rather than like a white. Bouncy Bubble, how are you, mate? Thanks for stopping by. Look at that. Night and day difference. Yep, happy with how that's looking. Now I might put that to the side for a moment. Let me just double check. I don't want it to stain too much. Actually, no, we probably don't need to put it to the side. It's drying fairly quickly. So I've got these little makeup applicators, disposable ones. They're really good for removing enamel and oil washes from your miniatures. So I've got a little bit of white spirit on them, and I'm just going to go clean up the rest of the model now, because we've got the stain effect that we wanted to really make it more of a lively looking bone color. But we don't want it to stay too dark and be unremovable for later on, so that's why we're going around now and getting rid of the shit that we don't want. Because the stain of the actual color, you can't really remove it. As soon as you put it on, it will stain it somewhat if it's a light color underneath. Particularly if you haven't varnished, which we didn't varnish, we just went straight over the top. If you varnish, it's a different story. It's kind of therapeutic when you do this, to be honest. It's like feathering it away. Something very relaxing about it. Mr. Man, do I have Borderlands? No, I don't, unfortunately. I see, I missed this little skull here. Could probably pick that out with some gold or something later. Ross Thomas, looks great, sir. What was your recipe for the bone? Thanks, mate. Super easy. Let me see if I can find the colors here for you. Did I put them away? Yeah, here we go. 1, 2. Ugh. There we go. So, base coat of this, grey brown. I just use the airbrush for this step, or all these colors. Mid-tone, Vampire Fang from Two Thin Coats. And then final highlight, cream white from Vallejo. That's it. You just kind of spray in smaller and smaller circles, and that's kind of the result you get, is what you're seeing at the moment. After a streaking grime wash. So we've just put some streaking grime over the entire model, and now we're wiping it away. Because it adds to the sort of tinted bone effect. Because otherwise, if you weren't to do the streaking grime wash, it would look a bit too white. It doesn't really look like bone, I don't think. So you really need to have the streaking wash, in my opinion, afterwards to make the effect come to life. You are very welcome, mate. Anytime. And then what I'll do is I would just edge highlight with the cream Vallejo color and call it a day on the armor, unless you want to go in it with battle damage, but that's exactly what I plan on doing once all the streaking grime is kind of dry. And then going in over all the other base coated colors like the greens and the reds and making them pop with a few highlights and stuff. But I don't know if we'll get to that today because I will let this dry, probably overnight. First. Random Rhino Minis. Looks great. May I ask what type of camera you're using for the miniature feed? It is an iPhone 14 Pro. That is the camera you're seeing the miniature through. So it's just my phone hooked up to the computer. Blood for the Blood God. No way, it's the Fiend. God damn, it's been forever. Mate, it has. It's been way too long. I had months away from the stream and hobby desk. But I'm back. Had a lot of shit going on, so I didn't have time to stream or anything, or even make any TikToks or Instagram reels and all that sort of shit. But I'm back now. This year you're gonna be seeing a lot more of me, that's for sure. I want to put out some more like PDF guides and stuff. They're fun to make, and that's how I kind of learned how to paint, through other people's PDF guides and stuff like that. Because I feel like you can like zoom right up into the miniatures if you really want to, and you can sort of see exactly step by step how someone paints, which I found helpful in my journey. So I want to make some more of those, like even like how to, I don't know, paint this to like a really high standard if I wanted to. Maybe something like that if people were interested. I don't know. I'm just brainstorming. Long story short, I hope you're well too. Blood for the Blood God. Luke Lambert, it's great to have you back, Chapter Master. Thanks, mate. Thanks for popping by. Appreciate it. It looks excellent. I've been trying to use a DSLR, but keeping the model in focus is rough. Yeah, dude, I don't have a good DSLR, so I haven't been able to try that. But I find the phone works well enough, so I'll just stick with that. What's on that brush? Asked Macy. This little makeup applicator thing is dipped in white spirits or odorless thinner. So I added a couple of drops of this. And what that is doing, God, I'm mincing my words today, is wiping away the enamel wash that we put on a little earlier. Just in areas that we want to kind of get rid of the effect, because we want it in some areas and we don't want it in other areas. So that's what we're getting in there, getting messy, removing that shit. And I'm gonna say that that's pretty good. I've been fucking wiping this thing for a little while now. All right. Say goodbye to Nurgle's palette. He is going away. I'm going to bring out my wet palette again. And let's do some edge highlights. And you'll just see how like the model starts to come together even with those couple of edge highlights. And we'll work out, do we want to use the cream color for it? Mitcheltron, Death Knight Termy's looking nice, my man. Thanking you. Appreciate it. And Lucario, hello. What's happening, mate? Okay, it is edge highlighting time. Very happy with how this bone's coming. It's looking nice, if I do say so myself. Okay. Cream white, Vallejo. Let's see if this is the go that we want it to be. Where's my paintbrush? Give it a good lick. Must always do that. I'm going to slightly thin the paint. Not too much though. You don't want to have your paints too thin when you're edge highlighting. Otherwise they run the risk of going in places you don't want them to. Yep, that's the one. This is the color we want. Yeah, I mean, even just look at that, the fist, it's already like starting to pop with just that little bit that we put on there. So it's just a matter of, let's edge highlight the entire model. Yeah. Oh, AK Paints, how you going, mate? Good to see you. Thank you for the, you know what's coming. Thank you for the gumdrop button, sir. Appreciate it. I hope you're doing well. Too much. Wipe it away. Okay. I don't like to highlight every single edge. I think it's a bit too much. I do just like to focus on the areas that I guess would see the most light and will have the most impact on the model. So like obviously areas near his face, upward facing areas, shoulder pads, that sort of thing. Like down here I wouldn't even bother like going in there and highlighting. Yeah, I mean the light wouldn't really get in there too much, if you know what I mean. So there's no point. Afternoon, how are you today? Very well, thank you. I hope you're doing fine as well. Shayna? Hello, how are you? Rogel Dawn as well. How you going, mate? And Cheeky plays games. Any tips for noobs? Well, I had that question a little bit earlier, and we were talking about paintbrushes to use. It's a very open-ended question. What would you like to know? There's lots of stuff when it comes to painting. I could talk for hours. How many of these have I got to go? Good question. I don't actually know. I only got these ones a couple of days ago. I've got a while to work on them. I'll have to have a look. I'm going to say maybe 12. I think I got like 6 Terminators and 6 of the Deathwing Knights, like the new looking Knight ones, which would be kind of cool. So you'll see a few more of these as well on stream. Shane, I'm good. Very good. Thank you for asking. How to get different highlights? Well, with this one here, we use an airbrush. So if you're new, you probably don't own an airbrush. But it's all about learning about how light works and kind of where you want to put the things. But if you're new, I think the base layer highlight is the best way to make a good looking model without getting too technical. And the biggest thing to note is what I'm doing here with my highlights is I'm using the side of the brush, as you can sort of see here, to get those edge highlights rather than trying to go directly on and paint, like trace the circle. I just kind of go around in a scratchy motion, and that way it's kind of evenly distributed, and I don't really run the risk of making a really big mistake like this. Like if I push too hard, see how it like squishes in there, and now I've got a shit highlight that I don't want. Let's act quick, we need to get rid of that so it doesn't actually stain. But yeah, just go in there, fix it up like so. Whereas using the side of the brush, you really don't even run the risk of that ever happening. Like it's a lot easier to paint edge highlights like that. Jacko, hello, how are you? How you going, mate? Good to see ya. Alice, hello to you as well. I think that's looking good. Let's do some of this. The backpack's super easy because it's like, it's not a backpack, but you know, the big chunky rectangle thing. It looks very nice when it's highlighted up. Very aesthetically pleasing, you know. Cheeky plays, how much is a good airbrush for a noob? My first and only airbrush that I own is this one here. It is the Badger Extreme Patriot 105. When I first got my airbrush a couple of years ago, this is kind of a mid-range one. I think it cost me $250, I think. And it's lasted me for quite some time. So if you're looking to start, I mean, you can get ones way cheaper, but I don't know how good they are. Like, I'd rather have a mid-range one, have a good experience with it, get good at it, and then continue, rather than buy a cheap one, it not work well. I think I'm shit at airbrushing and never do it again, if you know what I mean. It's coming to life, ladies and gentlemen. Look at that. There we go. There's a lot to highlight, and I'm probably missing a lot of things, which I can always fix up off stream. But I want to show you guys the most fun looking parts of it, you know? Okay, so I seen the chitin pics. How many hours did you have into that? Ooh, that is a good question. I can't quite remember. Might have been 10? I don't think it was that much. I can't remember. It didn't feel like it took me too long, but I definitely worked on it for quite some time. Like the trim and all the accents and that definitely took a while to do. But the white itself, fairly easy at the beginning. It's all the little bits and pieces that just add up a lot of time. Very cool looking model though, like just in general. So it was fun to paint. I actually thought it was going to be, I was dreading it more than I was looking forward to it, but when I started painting it, you best believe I was into it. Now, like, I would probably go back in and highlight these little, like, groovy things. I'm just not going to do it on stream because it's too hard. I need to hold the model up to my face to do it, and then you guys can't see it, and you'll be looking at just a grey screen. Not the most exciting thing in the world, so I'll leave that for an offline job. I'm unable to hobby for the time being and hope I don't forget how to paint when I'm healed. Oh no, mate, what happened? Hope it's not too serious. Particularly if it's affecting your hobbying. That's so shit. Emperor's blessings be upon you, mate. Speedy recovery. Or for you, you know, Dark God blessing and all that nonsense. Undulus, what faction do you play? I don't actually play, mate. I'm just a painter. I'm an imposter. Nah, I have been in the hobby for a while, but I've played probably like half a dozen games in my entire life. What about you? What do you play? Dark Angels and Guardsmen. Nice. Very loyal of you. So you would have a few of these Deathwing Termies in your army if you're doing Dark Angels. Just got the Lionel Johnson mini. He is a cool mini. Very nice, mate. Enjoy painting him up. Yo, that's a gorgeous Deathwing color. Thank you, Yoko. Appreciate it. Bruh. Fucking being a bit sloppy today. There we go. I don't have a Deathwing Terminator, but I have Terminators. Oh, nice. Very good. Add it to the list, mate. Gotta get some Deathwing in there if you're doing Dark Angels. Blood for the Blood God. You're in a wreck beginning of last month. Oh, fuck. Messed up your neck pretty good. That's not good, mate. Not good at all. I hope you recover well and quick. Not good. Scary stuff, mate. My cupcake kawaii. Wow, first stream in months since I got your stream. How you been? Yes, it's been a while. Yeah, busy with work, busy with life. No time for content or streaming. But here we are. I've been alright, thank you. I'm excited for this year because I've got it in my head that I'm going to do a lot more of this, which is fun, exciting, you know. So expect to see more of me. But yeah, I hope you've been well too. Okay, we're getting close to finishing these edge highlights to a degree that I'm happy with on the armor. Just going to add a little bit more on my palette because we're pumping through the paint. Might do a little bit kind of on the face now, I think, and maybe just here on these little joint things. I have a feeling I'm going to mush up this this face highlighting. We'll see how we go. I feel like I've jinxed it now, but hang on. Got to lock in. Give me a second. Okay, that's one half of the face done. Let's do the other half. Trying to do it on stream too, make sure you guys can see it. Keep him in frame. Nearly there, nearly there. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. I might just add a little bit here on the vent. I feel like that's gonna pretty much be it. Yeah, I'm happy with that. My sick as hell, got sick last 3 days of my vacation, home now but still sick. That is no good, my friend. I got sick over Christmas, so I sympathize with you. My holidays were not fun. Sitting in bed over Christmas. Carl, you get a chance to roll some dice. Models look great, bro. Thank you, dude. No, I don't really roll dice, unfortunately. I just stick to my painting table, more so than hit the gaming table. Don't know why, just not really my thing, you know? Just love the painting too much. Yeah, lock-in mode. Okay, we're out of lock-in mode. Let's, God, it's already midnight, fuck. Let's try and get through this fairly quickly. Now I'm on a roll, I kind of want to not stop. Corn red, we're going to hit the gun and the, what do you call it? The insignia on his shoulder pad. And the chainsaw little thing on his fist. Chain fist. So corn red is the paint that we're going to use. I'm going to thin it a little bit. And what I'm going to do is kind of, I don't know what you call it. It's kind of like stipple highlight. Kind of just, I don't want to highlight the entire, sorry, pull it back on screen. The entire model like evenly. I'm just kind of stippling it kind of unevenly, still leaving the previous red tone visible. And what that will do, it will still build up a highlight, but it kind of makes it look a little bit cooler. I don't know how to describe it, but it gives an effect that I like. And then we can come in with a edge highlight with like Evil Sunz Scarlet or something, like a nice brighter red. Same thing here on the chain thing. You can see I'm just kind of being a little bit messy with it. Still fairly thin of a paint. Not so thin that it's like a wash, but just like a little bit thinner than you would with like a normal layer. Because I can always go back in again. Like that. Not going to probably bother with it on the insignia bit. I'll just come in here with the normal kind of edge highlighty effect. George, amazing. Thank you. Very nice. You have a good night. Love your shit, bro. Thanks, Carl. You too. Thanks for stopping by, dude. There we go. Now it's getting to a place where I'm quite happy with it. We could even hit them with the edge highlights now, just to really make them pop. We're going to do just that. Evil Sunz Scarlet, as I said, that's the paint we're going to use to edge highlight it. And kind of like with the armor and the bone color, it should make a world of difference. Here we go. It looks very red when it goes on. It does dry a little bit darker, which can be a bit deceiving when you first put it on. You're like, oh shit, that's kind of like way too bright. But from my experience, it does seem to just mellow out a little bit, which is good. And yeah, we're just going to be focusing on the edges with this Evil Sun's Scarlet. There's like slight little ridges here, so again using the edge of my brush, that'll help pick them out super easy without me having to like trace it. So you can sort of see there on the gun, it's kind of picked it out quite easily. Cheeseburger, painting Tyranids, eh? May you get out of here with that heretical statement. Cool, so that's kind of the gun done to a fairly decent, I would say, standard in a fairly short amount of time. Obviously you can spend as much time as you want on these sorts of things, but I think that's a fairly simple red. Aussie Sean, holy shit, that looks finicky and very tedious. Love the design in your painting. Thanks, mate. It is very fucking tedious. But yeah, I like it, you know. As do a lot of other people. We're addicted to it. Plastic crack, as they say. Alrighty, let's do the chains. I keep saying chain sword, but it's a chain fist. Same thing, side of the brush. Makes it very easy to pick out the little ridge lines. This way is a bit tricky because it's kind of angled down. So I'll try and move the model into a better position, like so. And we'll go around right near the teeth of the blade. Doesn't matter if we get red on the blade, like the teeth of the chain fist thing, because I can touch that up, which we did, we got it on there, but that's alright, we can go in there and fix that at a later stage. Really just trying to get that edge highlight on the end of the little chain bit there. Cool. And now for the insignia. On his shoulder pad. Just don't care what it looks like. Love the white and red. Thanks, dude. Appreciate it. You're a legend. Nearly done. I feel like the actual plastic on this isn't even exist. It's just flat. So I'm going to manually put in these little striations for the wings here on this kind of inner bit. Great. Happy with that. I think that looks cool. And as we are doing this, I'm actually getting a message from the guy whose model this is, and I believe he wants the green to be red. Good thing we only base coated it because we can go in and do the red. So you can see it from start to finish. We'll do that fairly quickly because it won't take too long. Don't know if he's watching the stream. I don't think he is, because he's sending through other stuff as well. But if you are, Chris, how you going, mate? Hope you're doing well. Retribution, we'll use this for a tutorial. Go right ahead, mate. I hope it's of use to you. Maybe I should make a tutorial on how to do sort of the bone recipe. I think a few people have asked me on that in the past. I could just make one for YouTube or something. So if you didn't know, we're just using deep red as the base coat color for the red. Let's try to get this down nice and quick. Now there may be some tiny little areas where there's green. You won't see it too much. Like, I mean, I can't even really see it if there is any. But I will go off stream and go around and touch it up. But for the purposes of this, I think that's fairly decently covered. I can go ahead with the main bulk of the painting in a second once this dries and fix out the Aquila. But it does need to dry. So while it's doing its thing, let's highlight up the Crux Terminatus symbol things. So I'm going to use Dark Sea Grey for this one. I think we base coated it in this dark grey color. I think that's the color there. I want to see. It might be too much of a jump, might be too light, but I think this is the color. Looks great. Salamander Wen, another Salamander fan. Like, a lot of you guys love your salamanders, hey? Maybe one day. Today is not that day, unfortunately. What model is this? It's just a Terminator being painted up in the Deathwing color scheme. How do you glaze it, man? Just for the record, I paint Dark Angels. For the armor, I used an airbrush. If you don't have one, manually glazing it in would be an absolute pain in the ass if you've got a lot of models to do. I think that's what you're asking. But yeah, I just highly recommend you get an airbrush, dude. To anyone who's watching and doesn't own one. I used to be a staunch against the airbrush when I was younger, until I picked it up, turned to the dark side, never looked back. It's the greatest fucking tool. And you can get them for cheap. I was saying to someone before, my entry level one was not the cheapest. Sorry, not my entry level, but my first one was kind of mid-range. And it's the one I still use today. Badger Extreme Patriot 105. Good little airbrush. Although now that I'm been using it for a number of years, I'm thinking of upgrading to something a bit more high-end, just for some of the real kind of intense paint jobs that I'm doing later on. Kind of need that precision, you know. Will, you're still on this one. Yeah, this one's nearly done. We're getting very, very close. Is this Iron Hand stuff? Asked Shay. No, this is Deathwing Terminator from the Dark Angels. Thanks, Retribution. Appreciate it. Blood for the Blood God. I don't have the patience for white armor. Yeah, I know, right? Alrighty. I might add a little bit of white, and I want to go a little bit lighter. It was actually a bit darker than I thought, which is a good thing. But it's not really highlighted up to a degree that I want. Retribution, you want a shout out? Hey, mate. Oh, funny, mate. We'll see. If you behave. I know, but do you think Iron Hands are tough? Yeah, I'd say they are. I think they're pretty cool. Bongo Bear, where do I play? Don't play, unfortunately, mate. Just a painter. Broccoli Kev streaming late tonight. I sure am, mate. Sure am. Very late. It's already fucking 20 past 12. This will probably do us once I get done with this, because I do have work tomorrow. Or today, I should say. Thanks for the reminder, Kev. I need to get to bed. Hey, my kid's got Iron Hands, lol. The Emperor got him. Oh no. Yeah, mate. Gotta behave in the stream. I'm happy with that. I think that's decent. Alright, let's just get the Aquila done. Fuck it. Alright, and then I can call it a night. I really want to get this done. Alright, so the second color that we used was corn red. Same thing. I'm just going to get in there. You could even go straight to the sun, like Evil Sun Scarlet, but I think in some areas it might just be too much of a jump in color. So I do just like to kind of build it up gradually. Like this. Do I do Dark Angels minis on stream, I mean? You're watching one right now, mate. What do you mean? Are there even painters and players? Seems like it's always one or the other. Yeah, look, some people like the best of both worlds. 7 AM where you are. Yeah, very nice. Thanks, dude. And Graves busted. Thank you. Like the Deathwing Brown. Appreciate it. Alrighty. Evil Sun Scarlet, here we go. using the edge of the brush. Said it a million times, I'll say it again. But it will pick out just the right areas that we want to hit with this brightest of bright highlights. You see I'm kind of just tippy-tappy tapping the brush ever so lightly. And if I need more paint, I'll just go to the palette. I don't want to try and mush the brush on there to try and get more out of it. I feel like that's where you run the risk of more just errors, trying to force the paint out. Cool. Now that is pretty much done, guys. What I would still do, I don't have time for on stream, just going to tell you anyway, is highlight up the gold, because that's only got a base coat that needs highlighting up. And then the silver as well, I would highlight up the silver a little bit more. And then of course, lenses, do the lenses. You can do a little glow effect if you want. Chris doesn't have battle damage, but I would do that if you want to. Now's the time you can go back in with some battle damage. And then the base. But that is going to do us, guys. It is well past my bedtime now, so I need to jet and go. Graves busted, I just saw that. It is this one here, natural steel from Vallejo Model Color with a streaking grime wash over the top. Yeah, but yes, I've got to go. I see one more comment. I dare say you should do a Horus Heresy era Dark Angels and put that Terminator in a side by side with this model. Maybe one day, Mad Zahad. Maybe one day. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it as always. It'll be a couple of days. I got to go away for work, but I'll be back. And I hope to see you all again very, very soon. Thanks for staying around for as long as you guys have, and happy hobbying. Good luck at your hobby desk, the tables, and I'll see you next time. See you guys. Bye-bye. Bye.